What's up, everyone? Mike back with you again on another episode of One and Done with Zeke. Last time we talked about DBS collectability and just a couple of ways that we think Bandai can improve it. We're just going to keep going with that theme today. Consider this like a part two of that and some more ideas that we have around how DBS collectability can be improved.
I think signature cards would be cool too. Just making more.
Okay, so continuing that, style of cards.
I think they should go back to TOP though, where the art is full. I did not like what Assault of Saiyans did, where it cuts off at the bottom.
Agreed. My biggest pet peeve too. I liked the foiling, and I liked all the other things that they did, but I just wish that the character extended all the way to the bottom instead of being cut off.
Yeah. If you compare the two, if you have them side by side, it's really off-putting. But if you just look at them once, it's kind of hard to notice.
Yeah.
If you want to somehow edit that in to kind of show side by side, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure that the listeners can see for themselves. But yeah, definitely that's the one thing I didn't like about the Salt of Sand signatures was the body getting cut off. It would be kind of nice if they brought back the TOP style. I mean, it just looks so much cooler when it's the entire card.
I agree. I think they should do signatures like once a year. They should pick one set a year.
Yeah.
And do signature. I mean, there's a lot of characters. I feel like. Let me ask you this: if they did 4 signature cards a year, and they had to pick 4 different characters every single time, just characters.
I mean, honestly, they could even be the same character. Like, I'd be okay if they did another Vegeta, as long as the art's different. Maybe the theme is different. Like, instead of like a SSB, maybe it's like a Super Saiyan Vegeta signature. Like, I'd be okay with that, even if it's the same signature, the same voice actor. Like, I'm like the concept of signatures to me, I think, is a really cool aspect of collecting in Dragon Ball because it's so unique to just Dragon Ball, and the art style of just having that one character there. I'd be. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I'd be okay if it's the same characters too.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you this: what have they introduced? So we have the campaign rares that they keep renaming every set. That's something me and Mike were talking about. How annoying it is. How they call it every set that has a different name.
Yep.
How they had the signature attack rares, the duo rares, the angel and destruction rares.
Yep.
The infinite Saiyans rare. Like it's just call it campaign rares. Just simplify. Just simplify it. Just put CR in the bottom corner. Campaign rare. Everybody gets it. You can call it whatever you want as like the theme. That's fine. I mean, it's kind of like with Pokemon, how the community named them shinies. You know what I mean? But the word shiny never was adopted by Nintendo till like years and years later. Just call it campaign rares. And then let the community adopt whatever names, but just name it one thing. I'm tired of every set having their own unique. Because it's funny. Because on the preview for the stores to buy the product, when they list the rarities, before they reveal like what they are, they always call them campaign rares.
Yes.
And then like the generic text is campaign rare, and then once they release the trailer, then they change the word from campaign rare to whatever the set's rarity is. Like I said, the signature attack rares, the angel and destruction gods rare. This is so stupid.
I agree. Yeah, I think those are some good points. What do you think about? So here's another one. Titles of cards being too long, and the reason why I bring that up is because one of the things, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed this, is that for some of the cards, because the name of the card is kind of long, PSA has to do a bunch of abbreviations on their labels. So when you want to actually read the label of the card, like in Pokemon, it just says like Pokemon, Charizard, Holo. Where in, Dragon Ball, you'll see a card with like 50 abbreviations. So you can't even really look at the label to know what card it is. You have to actually read the card name on the actual card itself to know what it is. So I don't know if you think that's a way they'd improve collectability if they reduced it, because it would make the PSA label a little bit more friendly to read, but...
I mean that's more of a grading issue. I feel like, which again, grading plays into collectability. It's hard to say because like in the player community, we've kind of created their own nicknames for cards, especially since there's so many different Gokus or so many different Gohan, things like that.
Right.
So for example, like set 2 had a Gohan called Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. It's a mouthful. It's 4 big words or 3 big words and the word Gohan. The word miraculous. I don't even know how to spell that off the top of my head. So you have Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. So what the players did is we just called it MCU Gohan. That's what we called it, MCU, because it's, you know what I mean. And then there was the
VS for Victory Strike, because no one wants to type out Son Goku the Awakened Power.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah. So with the Awakened Power, we just call it Victory Strike, or VS Goku. Another one was there was a promo Gohan that was called. Basically, it's him charging up a Ki energy when he's in the Kai outfit, and it had like a big word, but it was a promo from the BCC club. So you know what we called it? We called BCC Gohan. Just because it was from the BCC promo. So like the community has done a really good job of coming up with nicknames to shorten things.
Yeah, but on those PSA labels, Beckett's a little bit better because the way they design their labels, it's 4 lines instead of 3, and their text is smaller and their label's bigger. Because obviously the entire Beckett case is bigger than a PSA case. Mm-hmm. So they have more room to work with, even for longer names. But with PSA, definitely, like, some of these names... It's just like it's not even readable. It's just like letter dot space letter dot. So you have to basically you have to look at the card itself, which is it's obviously minor, but it's just something to think about. Like if the names were shorter, but then again, like if there's 50 cards called Goku, then how do you distinguish between
right?
them?
No. And that's where I bring up the nicknames, because there was a time when there was 4 Gohan cards that were super playable. And so as a community, we were all like, "Oh, do you have a Gohan for trade?" And we're like, "Which one?" The red, So we as a community kind of came up with cool little nicknames. As from a player perspective, I know there was a Gohan from Tournament Pack that was like $70 at one point. It was one of the best Gohan cards. It was actually one of the best cards at the time for the game, and it came from the Tournament Pack. So we had, and these all these Gohans were meta playable to say. So we had MCU Gohan, BCC Gohan, and then we had TP Gohan because it came from the Tournament Pack. So and it was pretty fun. It's Goku. Oh my God! Whenever we say, "Do you have Goku for trade?" That's a whole debate right there. Like, oh, you have Goku for trade? Which one? UI? Which UI? There's 4 good UI Gokus.
Yeah.
So it's funny because it got to a point where we'll talk about sets. So yeah, I think. It's tough, though, because how do you shorten the name but still have to come up with catchy Gokus? There's
That's the thing, yeah. It's hard. If you think about it in Pokemon, I think part of it is because they're able to distinguish between the type of Pokemon, so it'd be like Charizard GX or Charizard Shiny GX. Whereas with Dragon Ball, you can't really do Goku Super Saiyan Blue, maybe? Goku...
No, because
Instinct Super Saiyan, I don't know how many variations of that you could do.
See, I feel like with Pokemon, the one thing Pokemon did was there was only one Charizard in the set, so you could just say Charizard and then the set it was from, and that's it. You're like, cool.
That's not true though. If you have in Burning Shadows, for example, the Hyper Rare isn't the only Charizard. There's other versions of it. But
right, but you could write in the label Charizard GX, Burning Shadow. No,
yeah,
but then you can write
was on the card.
Right, but then you can write Hyper Rare, or Burning Shadows.
I don't know if you could. You'd probably have to do the rarity. Yeah, unless you do multiple Goku secrets, but I would assume not. So if you assume it's always one character per secret, maybe by rarity you could do it.
But we've had multiple super rare Gokus.
In the same set.
In the same set.
Yeah, so it becomes hard when you want to do that. Then it's not like Pokemon.
I'll say this: that's the caveat with Dragon Ball. Unlike, there's a lot of reused characters. Now it doesn't, as a player, it doesn't feel old. As a collector, you might get kind of frustrated, oh my God, there's so many of the same characters over and over again, and it comes down to a bunch of different factors. But at Dragon Ball, I think, from a player's perspective, they do a really good job of make it kind of you kind of don't notice the repetition.
No, they've definitely done a better job, I'd say, than previous versions, because they're not strictly tied to just the TV show running. So they've definitely explored beyond just their traditional ones. but sometimes it still feels like you still see, the same kind of characters, but not as I would say not to the extent of previous card games. That was actually going to be another thought I'd want to ask you is like, what do you think in terms of improving collectability? I mean, this is kind of counterintuitive, but and maybe a little bit like debatable, but like, what about non-famous secret rares? I mean, it's just like throwing this out there, but like, let's say like a Yamcha secret rare, or like a Tien secret rare, or like someone you wouldn't normally expect to be like a main chase card for a set. Do you think that would help improve collectability because it adds sort of variety? Or you think it's like the opposite where most people like Goku, so if they don't have a Goku secret, they'd be like not really excited to chase it?
It's really difficult to say. I think art plays a huge factor because a huge example of that is the secret Buu from Destroyer Kings. How it has it's a Majin Buu card we've never really seen because it's him absorbing Babidi, so it's like it's weird.
Yeah.
But people liked it. People liked Boo, and the card still has some value, even though it's not seeing any play. I mean, we've kind of explored that also with like the Goku Junior. The Goku Junior secret rare is kind of interesting because it has all of like the Goku lineage on there.
Still, it's a Goku related though. I'm talking about someone that's like not really, like a
super obscure,
secondary or even third tier kind of character. What do you think?
The art would have to be really good, and somehow somehow I feel like they'd have to tie it to Goku. Like for example, if they ever made a Krillin card, it would be either Krillin dying from Frieza to when Goku became Super Saiyan, or Krillin throwing a Sensu bean at Goku. Like,
but see, those aren't epic to be a secret though.
Name an epic Krillin moment.
When he cuts Frieza in half with his Destructo Disc. I mean, for Krillin, that would be considered like a huge achievement, even though Frieza. He
didn't though. That was Goku's Destructo Disc.
Are you sure? I thought a Namek, when Frieza wasn't looking,
but
Krillin threw a Destructo Disc and it cut his tail.
No, because remember Frieza killed Krillin, and that's how Goku became Super Saiyan. He killed Krillin for Goku to become a Super Saiyan. Remember?
Right, but didn't what's the guy's name? Dende, didn't he revive Krillin and then Krillin secretly threw a Destructo Disc? You don't remember that?
I thought Goku did, because Goku's done the Destructo Disc.
Yeah, that's later on though, when it's like more closer towards. That's like post Super Saiyan and he's almost dead basically. But there was a time where Krillin sneaks up and Frieza thought he already killed him. You know when he's like the bullhorn Frieza, and he's like.
Oh yeah. That was before he died. Yeah, I remember now.
And Krillin like gets secretly revived because Frieza doesn't know that Dende has the reviving powers, and then he throws a Destructo Disc, which like cuts his tail.
No,
I don't know if it actually cut his tail, but I know that it threw him off. I don't know if it actually hit him. I can't. That's the only part that I'm not sure. But I know that he had that like secret Destructo Disc moment that he surprised Frieza with.
I mean, it sucks because they already made a card like this. They made Yajirobe slashing off Vegeta's tail.
Oh yeah, that was a big moment too. Yeah.
They already made that into a card, like that specific moment. But that would have been a really cool secret if they made it like a Vegeta Yajirobe secret. But the only
like foiling on it and stuff, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean it'd be a funny secret rare because like the only part of Vegeta you see is his tail being cut off. It's mainly Yajirobe, but they could make it like a Yajirobe Vegeta secret where it's just funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think the closest we'll get to obscure secrets, honestly, is going to be villains, where we get the video game villains or like the movie villains. That'll be I feel like the closest to secrets we'll get in terms of obscurity, because we've gotten some already with like Demigra. Demigra was a pretty obscure secret to go with. I feel like when Demigra was revealed to be the secret of Set 4, that was a big deal because it was like, oh my god, it's not Goku. Because Set
4.
Set 2 was Vegito. Set 3 was Ultimate SF4 Goku. So then we're like, oh, because I remember they revealed the Kid Goku as the first secret. Yep. So you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. It has Goku, but it's not Goku. And then we're like, oh, the next one's going to be Goku for sure. or like a Vegeta or Gogeta. Nope, it was Demigra, and that was super cool. When because Demigra is a very obscure character. He's exclusive to the video game and the arcade game. So it was really cool. Like it definitely introduced a lot of players into that storyline. Like I don't think you knew about the Dark Realm storyline until they introduced Demigra, right?
No, I learned it after it had already come out. So
Right.
definitely, like for me, it was also new, and I think that's. I mean, that's a great point. I think it'd probably have to be something like that, where it's like a villain or something that they'd have to like go with, which I mean isn't bad, but should be interesting.
Demigra's up there for me for favorite secrets because he is obscure and they did a really good job on his art.
Yeah, the art on it was really good too. I think you're right. I think art probably plays a huge role, uh, regardless of whether or not it's a character that's famous or not. But probably more so if it's not a famous character. I think the art would have to be really, really good for it to.
It would have to be like that level of quality for the art because the Goku Oob is just trash. It's so bad as a secret. I'm sorry. Like regardless that it's from World Martial Art, the art is just bad. It's just not. It's not.
And the pull rates were bad on it too. I mean,
Right.
they bumped it to one for every 3 boxes.
Yeah, I mean the
Or per
Frieza secret.
case.
The Frieza secret was good, and the Frieza secret's worth like 5 times more.
Yeah, the Frieza was really good. The characters on it were good. The art foiling style was really cool.
It had Broly and
Um,
Paragus on it. That was
yeah,
cool.
from
That-
the movie, that was really cool.
Yeah,
And even the meta for it was pretty decent too. So a lot of players wanted to use it. So I think, yeah, I think the Frieza was really good. But like you said, the art too, I think was a huge part. Plus it's Frieza, which everyone knows. Broly, everybody knows. So and the movie was big too. So.
yeah. I think the principal thing about Dragon Ball that makes it collectible is the art above everything else.
Agreed.
Pokemon's collectible because it's Pokemon. Got to catch them all. Yu-Gi-Oh's collectible because it always follows the show. Like the most expensive cards in Yu-Gi-Oh are tied to the characters in the show, like their signature battle, monster. With Magic, it's the cards that are best in the game that are valuable, like the most iconic cards that define those, like the meta of those games. Those are valuable, and I think with Dragon Ball, it genuinely is art. All of them touch art in terms of collectability because there are cards in each game that are worth more because they have such good art. But in Dragon Ball, I feel like so much value is perceived solely because of the art. Because that I think that's what drove you into collecting was the art, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, hands down. Like it was just so much better than everything else. It just immediately caught your attention, and you just couldn't believe, not only just on the secrets, but like a lot of the other lower tier ones too. I mean, Bandai just did so well on the cards.
Height of
that-
Mastery is an example of a card that's not a secret.
Yeah, exactly.
That just looks so good. Like Height of Mastery is like one of my favorite art cards, the SPR version. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I think Dragon Ball art is going to be what makes it the most. I think art is truly what drives the collectability of
I
Dragon
totally
Ball.
agree. So with that, that's pretty much it. So thanks again, Zeke, for your time, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys.